Hello everybody, welcome to the last episode. Let me just see if everything is working fine and we'll just start soon. So today we're gonna find and finish the game. We would like to probably add some sounds into the game. We're gonna just add it for the pickups, and then we're gonna set up a few things in the project menu. I mean in the build settings, that is. I'll just quickly prepare one pack for you, which is over here. It's basically one element which is downloadable on icons8.com. Yep. And the MooBot. So the cherry. Create response in chat. The response will be can I actually just have this one in particular? Okay, I'm just gonna send it over here. Save. Okay, so if you twitch.tv. Okay, okay, and the last command is cherry website Okay, so if you refresh the page, then you're gonna see the chat commands, and there is gonna be one more command for later. And I believe this is all that I needed. Yeah, because we're gonna be using also the sounds pack, which is available down in the chat commands. The exclamation mark sounds. So if you download it, you can just use it. Okay, so this is all ready. Yep, okay, I'm gonna close this. So I need a link for this one and paste it here as well. Yep, okay. So everything should be fine now. I'll just check on my phone, but it seemed also that everything is working fine. So we should be able to just start right away. Yep, okay, seems like it. Anytime Unity is starting up. Okay. And hello, we should be able to see the game, not the game, but the Unity. Yep, everything is working fine. Okay, good. So, if you download the two things, which should be the cherry icon under, if you type down in the chat exclamation mark cherry, or and the exclamation mark sounds. There is also the sound, which should be over here. I have the pickup added here because that's the only sound I want to use. And we're gonna just set it up now. So our camera right now has the event listener, the audio listener here. We're gonna remove it from the camera and we can just add it on the player. So audio listener, yep. And then on the cherry, we want to have audio, what was it? Audio source, yep. Or actually we can just have it on the player as well. So let's just add it on the player as well. Okay, then we need to add the audio clip. We're just gonna add the pickup. We're gonna not play it on awake, so just uncheck this box. We have the volume, the priority. The priority is just normal, the volume is just fine. Yep, we don't care for the 3D sounds. Yeah, okay, so now we need to go to our scripts and actually allow the sounds to be played whenever we pick up something. So we're gonna go to player. And whenever we see point system dot points, yeah, but like on trigger enter, but what if the trigger is not? Okay, I mean, sure, this is one thing, like if we hit a trigger, then we take it, but then we should check if this is a cherry. So we're gonna do this just now. So if call.tag is cherry, then we want to add points. Okay, and destroy the object later on. So that's one. Then we want to also play the sound. So audio, we need to access the audio listener. We can just add it, sorry, the audio source. We can just add it here. So private audio source AS. Oh wait, no, we cannot AS because it's a command. So we're gonna just say source. So the source is equal to get component audio source brackets semicolon, and over here we can just play the sound. So source dot play, and that's it. Basically, we just want to play the sound. That's it, because we already have this particular sound attached, the pickup sound, the audio clip. Then we don't have to change it. We're just gonna play pickup every time. Okay, so what we can also do, first of all, we can check if this is working. I hope the sound won't be too loud. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit, so it's not gonna destroy our ears. Yeah, okay. It's really loud though. Like, I'm gonna turn down the volume a bit. And then we're gonna go to over here. Yeah, we're gonna change. We're gonna create another object, which will be like an opposite of cherry. Instead of getting points, we're gonna get our player to respawn, like a bomb, I would say. So let's create another. We can actually just copy this cherry because it's gonna have the same effect aside from being a poisonous cherry. So we can just say poison. That's our object. And then we're gonna add a new tag for it. So instead of cherry, it's gonna be poison. Then we're gonna change the color. So we can go to cherry. We can just copy this cherry mat, name it poison. And we can change the color of it to like this dark green, so it looks like, you know, like poisonous. Okay, and then we're gonna attach this to the poison. This way we have the shader on and everything should be okay. We're gonna still have the cherry script on it because we want it to just fall down. And then we're gonna change the tag to poison. And we're gonna add this as a new prefab over here. Then if we hit apply, it's not gonna, yeah, it's gonna apply to the poison, not to the cherry. Okay, good. Yeah, Okay, so next thing we need to do is we need to expand our game manager so it can actually instantiate both cherries and poisonous things. And what we can do here, we can also we can either have like to make the game choose randomly whether it's gonna be a cherry or or the poison, or we can just basically make two timers, one slower, one faster, so we can get like sometimes two items spotted at the same time, both the poisonous cherry and the cherry itself. And for me, I would actually go for the second choice. So the second timer. So we're gonna just basically duplicate these. I'm gonna just take this down a bit. Yeah, and then I'm gonna make another two of these. So public float poison delay, private float poison delay elapsed. Okay, and just basically we want to copy this and then copy it again. So if instead of this being the delay elapsed, it's gonna be poison delay elapsed is greater or equal to poison delay. We need another game object over here, which is not a cherry prefab but a poison prefab, like this. So if the poison, yeah, it's gonna be this, and then we're gonna, instead of cherry, we're gonna go for the poison prefab boundary. Yep, delay elapsed. No, the poison delay elapsed. Poison delay elapsed is 0, and if not, then the poison delay elapsed is plus equals time to delta time. So we're basically just making two routes over here. Whatever an update function is called. Yep. So we can have two separate delays for them to be played, and we need to attach the poison prefab here. So the poison prefab has to go over here, whatever. Yeah, here. Yep. And then the delay on the cherries is 1.5, and on the cherry on the poison, sorry, on the delay for the cherries is 1.5, and we're gonna have 2 for the poisons, I would say. Okay, so now whenever we hit a poison, the player has to respawn. So we want our player to see if this is a poison, else if is poison, because if we hit something that is a poison, then we want to point system dot points to be equal to 0, because we want to just reset the amount of points we have. We don't want the source to play, we just want to restart the game. So we need to go over here at using Unity Engine dot scene management, Unity Engine dot scene management. And then we just want to say scene manager dot load scene 0. Oh, sorry, 0. I think we had scenes, yeah, 1, because menu is 0 and then level is 1. So load scene 1. Okay. So we're gonna reset our points and restart the game whenever we hit the poison cherry. Yep, okay, that's good. Let's see, this is working now. I think it should, yeah, we'll see. So let's jump into the game, and we don't want this, we want this, sure. Okay, so the collector should also the collector should also destroy the poisons. So the collector here, if it's cherry, then it's gonna detach our points. If this is a poison, then it's just going to destroy it. So this is poison, then just destroy the game object. Okay, good. Okay, it's working just fine. So we get minus points whenever we don't catch a cherry. If we take a cherry, then it's good. And if we hit a poison, then we just respawn again. Okay, so next thing we need to do, we need to get rid of the 2 cherry and poison objects, because they are just spawning every time we load into the game over here. So we can just destroy them, because we still have prefabs back then. Back over here in the cherry. So if we spawn into the game, we don't get the poison and cherry at the beginning. It just starts spawning randomly. Okay. Good. Everything is working. So next thing we need to do is, let's actually try to go to File, Build Settings, and we can set our player settings over here. And over here we have some things over here, as you can see to the right. And we have our company name. We can name our company, I guess. We can just name it Toro. In my case, I'm gonna call it 2D platformer. Then we can set the icon of the game. So whenever like you have it on your desktop, you can see the icon. So we're just gonna select some, or we're gonna just drag it. I have this cherry setup over here. Yep. Okay. Settings, player settings. Close this. The icon over here, and then we have a cursor here. I don't have one on me right now, but if you have one, then you can attach it. Yeah, I don't think I have one. Yeah, okay, it's not here. So you can also set the hotspot of the cursor. Yeah, okay. So you can attach the icon and the cursor here. Then we can set more things over here. Like we can override the textures whenever you have different sizes for different machines as well. We can go to resolution. We can have like what's the full screen mode whenever it's an exclusive full screen, maximized window, windowed. Let's say we have this game only windowed, and the default screen width and height is going to be these two. We want to run it in the background? Oh, maybe not. Standalone player options, capture single screen, no. Use player log, resizable window, no. Supported aspect ratios. Oh yeah, so now we can just see what aspect ratios we can have. And for me, let's say we're gonna just stick to 16.9. 16 to 9 as in. Okay. So over here we have also the splash screen, which is if you have a personal edition of Unity, you're just going to see this every time you launch the game. This made with Unity. Either it's light on dark or dark on light, as you can see. I prefer light on dark. Okay, and you have different animations, which is like static, which is a dolly, and there is also custom, which you can basically just change as much as you like. Yep. Then there's also the stuff, like you can have different logos. You can add your own logos here, like you can add the cherry, for example. Yeah, we need a sprite for it. I don't think we can actually find a sprite here. There should be a cherry sprite over here. Yeah, cherry. And the logo duration 2 seconds as well. So we're gonna see it now. I think it should show both. Yeah. So we had both these animations. Then the background opacity, we can just change how much opacity you like. The color of the background, we can change it to, I don't know, different. as you can see. We can also change the opacity of it, but like it's not gonna work perfectly because we don't have an image. If we had an image, like for example, let's say this one, then we would have this. Okay. Other settings. This is optimization. Yeah, this is mostly more advanced stuff here, and this is for virtual reality. Okay, so this is for the PC, Mac and Linux standalone, and this is for Android. Okay, so if we have all this set up as you like it, then we can actually build the game for whatever platform you would like, and whatever platform you have installed. In my case, I want to go for PC, Mac and Linux standalone, so I'm gonna build for PC, for Windows, for the x86.64 because I have a 64 system, 64-bit system, and I'm gonna just hit build and run. Then I have to select a folder where it should be built. So I'm gonna create a folder, call it builds, and I'm gonna just basically use the folder itself. Now let's wait for it to build, and we're gonna check if everything is working fine, every single thing. Okay, so we have these aspect ratios that I've selected, the 16:9. So let's say we want to go for that one. We can see the intro, we can see the Made with Unity, the background, the cherry here. Now we're in the main menu. We're gonna go start, and we can see the fox, and everything seems to be working just fine. If we don't hit a cherry, yeah, we're gonna lose one. And if we hit a poison, then we're gonna get restarted. One thing we could also do now, because I don't like the way we respawn, we just skip the level. I would actually like to see, instead of loading back to level 1, we're gonna go to level 0, so we can go back to menu. And also it would be nice if we could see the amount of points that we have. So in the player, instead of loading the scene 1, let's build a scene 0, and in the menu control over here, in the start function, public start, public void start, what am I saying? Public void start, we need to check if there is an existing point system.points. If .points is not null, because there might be a situation where we actually cannot access it. Like, let's see if this is the result is true. Okay, so technically it says it should always work, but we're gonna see. Okay, so let's just see if this is gonna work. So we need also the Unity engine.ui because we're gonna add a text component to our menu that will display the amount of points we've gained before we hit a poison. So yeah, so using Unity engine.ui, enter, and we need to add the text here. So public text points text. Let's go back to Unity. We should go back to our main level, the main menu. Where's the scenes menu? Yep, And then on the canvas, we would like to have a new text. So there is the 2D platformer. We also want this new text down here. We're gonna pull down the start button a bit lower. And this text will be, oh no, this text will be our point. So point 0. We can also turn this down a little bit and change the colors. I want the size of it to be like maximally 64. Center this out. Okay, it's fine. And yeah, okay, so we have this. This is gonna be points. This is gonna be title. Points text. Yeah, okay, so menu control. It should be here. Yeah, so the points text, we want it here. Let's just copy this down to the script. So points text dot text. Remember, we're accessing the text value of the points text component. Text equals points double dot, and we're gonna say plus point system dot points. Yep. So technically, I think this shouldn't work, to be honest, because we don't have it instantiated yet, but we'll see, because yeah. Okay, apparently it's working fine. So if we gain a point and then we, for example, die, we have 0. Okay, yeah, I screwed up. I take this, and I'm gonna take this, and I'm gonna take this. So I've got 2 points because we still restart the amount of points. This we have to get rid of. And on the menu control, when we start, we want to have point system dot points equals 0. So when we restart the game, we restart the amount of points. So let's see if we build it. Okay, we're gonna start. Get some points over here. 3 points, and we've got 3 points. If we go into the game, we have 0 points again. I think this is, yeah, I think this is good. So we can see like the last amount of points that we have had, and the overlay is working. Okay, let's just, so if you want to quickly check if everything that you've done is working properly whenever built, you can just press Ctrl B, which is going to build it, as you can see, and it's gonna be a build and run usually. So we can go to play, and we can see if the changes that we did are working just fine. As you can also see, the icon here is changed, the icon here is changed, and if you go to the builds, which is here, it's going to be this icon here. Okay, so we can hit start. Let's gain some points, and let's get hit. Yeah, we've got 2 points. I would like to see if the overlay is working, so whenever we can see a cherry, yep. I'm gonna take it, and we lost, we have 1 point. Okay, exit button is working. The one in the game, as in, let's just quickly build and run. The one which is brought by the overlay, let's just quickly see if it's working as well. Yep, the cherry. So let's see if this is working. It's working perfectly. Okay, so this is basically how you could also check, like, you should always check if your game is polished, if every single detail is working, because otherwise, well, you can get some nasty results. So remember always to just check if the project that is built is working as expected in the Unity, because this way you're not going to make mistakes in the long run. Okay, let's see. Do you have any questions? Because like it's the last webinar. And maybe you have some questions, maybe something you would like to know, maybe something you would like me to show you. Feel free to drop a question in the chat, and I'll be happy to respond to it. Okay, so no questions so far. Okay, so I can give you some ideas for what you could learn next if you wanted to go from here. I would advise to learn when it comes to Unity. It would be also really nice to learn things called particle effects. They are a really nice system in Unity, which allows you to add some really nice effects, and you can really go very creative with them. Like you can basically even create fire with the particle effects. I can just show you something very simple. Let's just drop the level scene over here, and I'm going to show you how it works. It's effects, particle system. If we add one, if we focus on it, you can see it's starting to like create these bubbles. I'm gonna attach it to the player. Where is it? Particle system, player. Reset this, and I'm gonna go to the player. Yeah, okay. So if you can add some effects to it, like we have a lot of them, we can change the shape. Like we can go for a sphere, for example, so you can see this, like these stars running around. You can change the color, like this. You can change the duration, the speed of it. Like you can go 15, so it goes faster. You can also add, well, you can basically do a lot of things. Change the radius of the shape. Color by speed, color over lifetime. There's also a thing. You can create like a gradient from like green to, let's say, red. So you can see if this is like closer. I'm just gonna do it a bit closer. So you can see they're green at the start and then they get red whenever they are closer to dying. That is, like, because of the lifetime. We can change the lifetime to be like much lower. Then you're gonna see they start green and then they go red. Like you can play around a lot. Whenever you are much more into coding, you can learn things called IE enumerators. Sorry, it's a hard word to say in Polish because of my accent. And coroutines in Unity. They are really good at handling time. Like you can create, let's say, first idea that pops into my mind would be a dialogue system. So you can create little dialogue boxes which say something for a certain amount of time, and this is happening asynchronically. So it does not collide with anything else in the code. Yeah, that's two things I can advise you to try. Maybe you're a 3D artist. You can also drop any kind of assets into your game. Basically, use the things that I've been learning, and you can create games with your art. It's also really good. Like, after these tutorials, I believe you can basically start doing something of yours with the amount of guides and how big the Unity documentation is. You can pretty much create anything, whatever you would just like. Okay. Well, thank you, Vicente. Vicente. Sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong. Thank you. Thank you. I'm really glad to see you've enjoyed them. Yeah, okay. So I believe this is it. Whenever you have any questions, you can always ask, and I'll be here for like 10 minutes more just to answer your questions if you have any in the chat. And yeah, I hope you've learned something and you can actually create games now. If you happen to make any, just send them to me. I want to see them. Okay, yeah, and that's it. Thank you. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for staying around and for trying to learn. I really appreciate it. Yeah, goodbye then.